Welcome. This is Cashman Cooks number 15. Welcome to the extended version. So I think today it feels like a very organic kind of normal day. Like we're just showing up. There's nothing kind of heavily presenting itself, and I want to see what kind of music flows from that kind of situation. Like a situation that just feels quite natural, like no kind of crazy variables, but just how it feels to just show up in a good space and just see what presents itself. So yeah, what's just naturally happened is my recent stuff's kind of been finding a bit of a similar groove kind of between the songs, I would say. Like one of the big things of this series is to do exactly that. But I think just in this moment of time, like I'm just intrigued to see whether there is a consistent kind of current of sound that flows through the stuff I make. Because you look at anyone big and even the kind of experimental artists, they'll have a kind of you'll have a sort of expectation sonically from them. So yeah, that's kind of a byproduct of just having a bit of fun here. There is like a kind of a real part of this that's just finding my identity, I guess. So I think today I'm just gonna dive on in. 3, 2, 1, let's go. The recent ones have felt good having a focus on the drums. So I think I want to get some kind of drum start, I reckon, just to find a bit of the groove in the first place. Today I want to start a bit faster, but not crazy. So I might just try this. I've kind of just done a random pattern. We'll see how it feels. Quite like that. Maybe let's try just shaping this up straight away. Take this down a bit. So now we want to get some more percussion in. And we'll just keep building layers until something sounds right. Maybe I want to play around with pitch on this. So maybe we just kind of like oscillate it. Quite like that. Maybe some kind of crazy delay on there. Okay, I quite like that. Maybe we want to get like a nice little reverb on there. Quite like that. It's already got some nice kind of depth going on there. So I would be tempted to do something maybe like Tantra. Just kind of generates a nice like rhythm. There we go. Let's see what other percussion we get now. Let's try some hats maybe. Quite like that. That can be the off hat. Good. So maybe I want to do that kind of hat stutter. Feels quite nice. So I reckon maybe with a bit of extra rhythm that could sit even nicer. Very light. Kind of cold and mysterious this. So let's try a delay. Nice, okay. So maybe a clap on this third. Feeling good. Quarter of the way through. Got a nice pattern here. Might actually try some vocals. Oh, that's pretty cool. What we might try and do is put it on to this machine one. And we'll just see how that plays with the automation we put on there. Just get this expanded out. And then we want to set these all in, apart from that new one, so they don't shift. So now this vocal, I can change there. So it looks like, because it matches up here, it's 128. So now we can lock that in. So let's see how this sounds. We'll get an extra lot of animation in there as well. Automation, should I say. There we go, we've added the automation in. So let's see how this sounds. Kind of feeling like a TIE fighter or something. So that being said, maybe we want to change them to being smaller and maybe quicker. I reckon even quicker than that. So let's try that and we'll maybe play around with some settings. That's quite cool. So do we want to build that or do we loop that? That's the question. I might actually just loop this. Do we want to keep these fades tight? It should be less noticeable with the reverb on there. Going to play around with some like pitch again here. So maybe we just have that on the fourth one. So let's try that. Maybe actually it's just the second half. Let's try that. Just a little blast, that kind of lower end. Yeah, that's feeling cool. Okay, I think between these kind of vocally sounds, we could get something quite cool here. Okay, let's play around with these. Got a whole bunch of cool sounds here. So this one maybe a double. Yeah, so that I might just have on the beat. It's quite cool. So I think these, I want to see what they sound like lowered. So that maybe here. Okay, so maybe that one on every other. This one, not sure if that's working. I quite like that. Just try that. On the second here. All right, basically halfway. It's quite cool. It's quite different. It sounds a bit like a squeaker to that one. That's cool. Maybe now we want to get some sort of vocal, because at the minute this could go in a few directions.
Bailaremos como las estrellas hasta el cielo.
Okay. Kind of like that, just as a yes texture.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, I feel like there's two kind of routes we can go down here. We either lean into the robot or go a bit more human. I think one kind of alleviates the menacing nature of it, and then one leans even further into it. So this is kind of one of those crossroads you have to decide where you're going to take things, especially before recording any notes in. I like this. It's just a bit more like laid back, which is nice. Okay, yeah, that's quite cool for a downshifter. I might try and get a bass in here now. Let's try maybe E minor. Might try recording that in. That did sound cool. I accidentally just hit that then. Okay, I quite like that. Yeah, let's try recording this in. Sounding cool. Well, that's the time. Very different. Pretty wavy. Deeper and darker than I anticipated, to be honest. I kind of imagined it to be a bit more fun and dreamy, but yeah, quite a unique piece, this one. Yeah, let's give it a little play again. That bass. Just that little variation. It adds a bit of personality to it. And we've got that synth in at the last minute that I think really just like adds that one breath of like air. I think it just could work as a nice switch. Just adds that bit of fun I think it needed. It's always interesting to see how sounds like react with each other. Like the more you add, the more you hear elements you had earlier on changing. It's very kind of like dubby. So where have we got this crazy texture from? There, the vocals. What I found interesting recently is that I've actually unconsciously been starting with like a standard kind of sound sample, and then basically putting a bunch of effects on that to create some kind of really weird, intriguing sound. And then as the song builds, like that triggers ideas and, you know, avenues to explore and go down. And then until I get to a point of feeling like it's quite a cohesive track. And then actually when you take off that original sound, the halftime, it feels cleaner and better. But like without that, I wonder where I would have got to. Would I have got to the same results without starting with something as abstract as that? It's quite interesting. Because now I play these, so this was with it. and that's without. And I feel like it just lets the song breathe that much more, which is very important when you're doing production / mixing. Is you need space in the track. It's important to like grow and evolve as your track does so. When you've got loads of new layers and the song wants to go somewhere else, like don't fight that, go with it. That's what I say. And you can always maintain those old layers for like an alternate version or something, but I think you've got to explore what wants to be heard. Yeah, you just got to like go with the gut and just know, okay, should I put an echo on this? Would this be cool as a consistent texture? And then you push it into the background with like some filtering. You know, do you want some reverbs to make it more shine and like bold and dynamic, or do you want to have it kind of darker and murkier, by like dropping the sample down an octave? So yeah, there's just so many kind of avenues you can go with music production. I think once you start picking up the key areas you can explore, then that's the best way to get to like finding these unique sounds that maybe your mind is capturing and you're wondering, how do I get there? Like you just have to kind of invest time through trial and error and just learning along the way, and then you'll get to a point where you can rely on those things and just your intuition. But until then, like just keep slapping stuff together. You know, as you get down the line, you'll realize like there's certain things you should do, and hopefully like from watching these you can kind of pick up some of the key things I do when I produce. But you know, for instance, it's like bass and a kick not wanting to fight for the same space. I think that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned from music production, is that everything can't be loud and everything can't take up the same space. And once you realize that actually different things should sit in different sections of the EQ spectrum, and then that way they can either form together, like, you know, several elements can work together to fill that space through like an EQ on the whole thing, or you can have, you know, just different things shaped so that they should just sing mainly in those regions they belong. Anyway, I'll wrap this one up. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you at cook number 16. Take it easy.